Hello, dear fellow creatives and entrepreneurs in the creative space in Kenya. So we are 2.5 months into coronaing, and I have some thoughts and insights I came here to share with you. The first one, we have to accept the timeline. Internalize and accept the new timeline. So last week, the Ministry of Health said that they're anticipating that the peak cases of corona in Kenya will be around August, September. Now, whether that's because that's when the highest infections will be, or because by that time we will have enough public mass testing for the incidence of corona so that they can understand the situation better, whatever the case, the timeline that they have now given us to work with is August, September. This is a new timeline. The first one that they'd given us was around April. So a lot of us in the sector were thinking like, okay, so if it's April, so maybe May, June, July will be some version of Trizex trying to contain the disease, all the measures. And by August, we will start resuming a semblance of normal. Now that they've said it's August, September, if you apply the same logic, it means that October, November, December will be trying Trizex ways to contain, to mitigate the challenges, which basically means for me and for you, 2020, Meisha. Ain't nothing going on but the rent, just figuring out how to pay your rent and the salaries for your teams, because that's what's happening. And I know that this is a difficult thing to accept, but it is necessary and imperative that you accept it, because insight number 2, you're going to need new plans, just like we are going to need new plans. A lot of us were thinking that corona by August hapa Q4 tutakuwa tumeanza, we'll be back to kind of a semblance subnormal, but things will start like recovering and moving. And so a lot of the plans that we made and a lot of the interventions that we made were for basically Q2 and maybe the beginning of Q3. All of that, now you have to tear up those plans, because what we're actually looking at is the whole of 2020 and quite possibly at least Q1 of 2021. In America, they're predicting that the live music business is going to take off or go back to a version of normal in October of 2021. And I've seen that also the professionals in the British live music system are also saying the same thing. That's a prediction that they're giving. Now, I'm not here for whether their prediction is right or wrong. I'm here because when I internalize that information, for me, it becomes doomsday theory, right? It basically means, as a creative business, whatever we thought were our projections for growth or for income or for being able to return to a semblance of normal, all of that has been wiped away. It also means that for me as an artist, if my thinking was, okay, we are in the interim, I do some things to shikilia right now before we go back to normal, basically what you're being told is that shikiliaing period has been extended very significantly. Because the period has been extended, maybe this is no longer shikiliaing, but the new normal, a subnormal, but it is what it is. This information, when understood properly, is going to help you make some really important business and life-saving decisions. If you maintain the thinking for, we are just in a pitia too, we just need to hold on 2-3 months, things are going to go back normal, your business will collapse. Your business will collapse. If you're an artist who's thinking, let me just make some stuff, let me just react to the things now as I'm waiting for things to happen, you are going to miss a wonderful, beautiful opportunity for reimagination, for skill development, for network building, for going inside and reconfiguring and reformatting and reconditioning the way your mind works. And therefore, it's going to limit your ability to create the work that is necessary for this time and that will live on beyond this moment. I don't know if I'm making any sense to anybody. If you change the timeline in your head, It will help you make the right decisions now. And this is a time for leadership. This is not a time for fear. This is not a time for sort of sitting back and being like, let's just wait and see. Nothing like that is going to save you as a creative in this time. The thing that's really going to save you, to change the game for you, is to accept the situation as it is. Okay, new timeline, right? If you're in the live music business like we are, us guys are like, let's go with this theory of October 2021. So what does our business need to do between now and October of 2021? This morning I was watching a video that The Economist did about they're monitoring China. So now China has reopened its economy and they're talking about like it's operating at 90%, and what does the 10% of the economy, the 10% that is not functioning, what is it? And it's what they're calling fun. So restaurants, movies, live music, concerts, that part has not yet resumed, right? So that for me was a very insightful piece of information, because it said that in subnormal, even when things resume, it confirmed to me that we are still going to be the very last ones when everything has come back. Entertainers, live music, us guys are going to be the very last thing that comes. So then I took the doomsday theory. I was like, you're saying how long? Until October 2021, great. So we are talking about 3/4 of 2021 and half of 2020, more than half actually, 3/4 of 2020 as well, because we've now been out of commission since March. That means that the game has significantly changed. And even when we come back, October 2021, the people who support the ecosystem, they're not going to have fully recovered. So you're thinking about sponsors, they're probably going to have way less money to spend on things. A lot of businesses will probably have, gone bust. So like your regular suppliers may no longer exist, or the relationships that you had with them before are going to significantly change because they've had to maintain or sustain their operations, or there's going to be a lot of changes. So even when we resume, the bottom line to understand is it won't be the way it used to be. So this loss of income we're experiencing now, when we open in October 2021, that's not when all of it is going to come back. I know I'm painting a really gloomy picture, a really doomsday theory picture. But this is the picture that we need to take to heart, internalize, and accept. Now is the time for creative business leaders to sit with their teams and ask, how do we develop digital products? The thing that we've all experienced in this last few, weeks is the way a lot of us creators have been thinking is like the thing that we normally do on the ground, just go and mirror that thing online. And then when the real world resumes, you now just take it back off, you take it offline and you take it back on the ground. But it's not working. Those products that we are producing now, a lot of them don't have true entertainment value for consumers. And entertainment is a spectrum, right? So a politics podcast is entertaining, a concert is entertaining, playing a game on your PS is entertaining, having drinks with your homies is entertaining. Entertainment is a spectrum. Got it. So we who are creators have to understand that entertainment is a spectrum, but more importantly, the things that work on ground in real life where there's human beings don't necessarily mirror when you put them on digital. We have to develop digital products. If a business or a creative is able to internalize this information and start thinking about the digital products that need to be created, and then the doomsday theory is false, okay? As a business, you would have the real normal business that you do, plus a new business that you've developed, the digital business, right? So that means that you now have two revenue streams in your business, which makes you greatly advantaged, because also, please guys, remember 2022 is an election year and all the bullshit that comes with election years in Kenya. So if you are a creative or a person who owns a business in the entertainment or creative sector right now, you must sorry to sound like a dictator, but you must internalize this information. You must come into acceptance. Hope is not a strategy. You can't hope for things to get better. Hope is not a strategy. Hope helps you get through day by day. But you need an actual business strategy to get you through now to the end of 2020, to the end of 2021, and to leave you with enough options so that when 2022, whatever happens in that election and all the bullshit and the circus that happens in Kenya, your business will be able to thrive or at least survive. Okay? That's a really important piece of insight. I'm gonna make another video. This one was enough. It's called Time, Doomsday Theory. The painting behind me is actually by an artist called Basil Ngode, the Pharaoh, or Jin. He's a master. Thank you all for listening. I will be back with more gems. Mwah!